Hello and welcome to our European election special. My name is Afonso, I'm from Portugal, and with me today we have...
Anastasia from Greece.
And Irene from Spain.
So we decided to do this podcast because, as you know, the European elections are coming, and we wanted to talk a little bit about youth participation and to bring some awareness to the elections in overall. So to start off, why are we doing this? Basically, we were lucky enough to have our lovely friend and also trainer Kasia Urbancic. See? Perfect. She spent 5 days with us, where she brought us her training course, Youth Participation in Democratic Life, where we did non-formal activities regarding this topic. We were able to debate and to share our opinions regarding it, and also learn a little bit about the whole European election setup and everything that is happening over there. So to start off, I wanted to talk about youth participation and participation overall. So basically, what is participation? Because I think that when we think about participation, we all think about voting in general. And participation is much more than that. It's an essential element for our citizenship and our democratic society. And basically, when it comes especially to young people, it's the active engagement of young people in their communities. So we need to keep in mind that it's about having the rights, the means, the space, the opportunity, the support to influence decisions, to engage actions and activities, and to contribute on building a better society. So basically, all of this can only happen if we are given the proper tools, information, education, and access to our civil rights. It is through active participation that we can empower young people to play a vital role in the development of their communities and give them a meaningful role. Not only will help society, but also will help foster young people active citizenship, enhance their integration, inclusion, and also strengthen their contribution in the development of the democracy. Basically, I have the idea that young people are an afterthought, like not in general, but a big part of the community sees them as citizens in training, when this is actually not the reality, because young people have a really active role when it comes to taking initiatives, movements, proclaiming urgent needs, such as the climate changes and gender rights. Young people bring fresh perspectives, innovative ideas, and a very diverse experience to the table. So their participation in this way ensures that we can focus and prioritize the concerns of future generations, and also have a more variety when it comes to decision making in our policies and societies. But what is the current state of youth participation? Basically, despite the importance of young people, when it comes to voting and when it comes to more specifically the turnout in the different elections, we can see overall, at least in Europe, that young people have minor percentages when it comes to voting. In Portugal, for example, it's I think it's the categories of the least voters. It's young people, and Portugal already has a very low percentage when it comes to voting. And we brought some statistics. So the data from the 2019 European Parliament elections revealed that the voters between 18 and 24 years were approximately 28%. Which was significantly lower than the average turnout, which was 50% across all the other age groups. So this disparity and climate that we see in the current politics and throughout Europe are why we think we need this discussion, and to approach the various factors that lead to this. We have our friend Anastasia over here to talk about it.
Thank you. So talking about youth participation, as you said, we can obviously not overlook youth not participating in the European elections. And it is very important to look deeper into the factors which have led the youth in such an attitude towards the elections. So to begin with, there are a few factors which contribute to this phenomenon, and the very first one, which all of us are aware about, is simply young people being indifferent to politics or simply not understanding them. But for me, the truth is that young people are actually not that politically or ideologically disengaged as we are portrayed to be. I think that even though ignorance in participation is a thing and it's a factor, it doesn't apply to the majority of the youth at all. And what for me really is a big factor is that the youth actually does not have enough time to be actively participating. And most of us are working full-time, part-time, attending school, university, often at low-wage jobs with unstable work schedules. We have too many things to do, and we can barely focus on our studies, let alone our European elections. I mean, participating in the elections, though, it's a way to change these things, and maybe these problems can change through voting and participating, but at the same time, here is my next point that is very important to mention, is that young people feel like their voices are not being heard. And when the youth makes consecutive attempts of changing things in the system, and instead of radical changes, we face fake promises or even indifference by the politicians, the feeling of desperation is unavoidable, basically. When the youth's needs are looked down upon, it is natural for us to completely annihilate the importance of participation. And actually, even some of the politicians whose views seemingly represent the youth's needs, they actually only take advantage of them for promotion purposes. And the youth, us, we cannot really trust the ones who are supposed to be there for us. So, knowing the main elements that play such a role when it comes to youth abstention from the elections is very important. And understanding the reasons that lead to situation helps us find more effective solutions to it. So, with this said, what are the elections?
Well, the European Union elections are held to elect the members of the EU Parliament and happen every 5 years. This year we get to vote between the 6th and 9th of June, as elections occur on different days of the week based on different countries. And in these elections, citizens of all of the 27 countries that are in the European Union vote to elect their representatives. 720 members of the European Parliament will be elected, and they'll represent 450 million people. The job of the Parliament is to make laws and decisions that impact our lives, like immigration, environment, healthcare, human rights, security, economy, and these things. So, voting for these elections is important to decide altogether the future of the European Union and to help to change the world. And I think this sentence that they use on the website of the elections is very important and kind of sums up everything that we say here. And is the more people vote, the stronger democracy becomes. So that's how I end this part of the podcast.
So, to summarize everything, even though the current state of society has led the youth into desperation when it comes to political participation, it is very important to understand that the youth's abstention from the political scene, and thus the election, is not a solution.
And that has basically been it for this podcast. I hope we were able to bring some awareness to the upcoming elections and also to have a good conversation about youth participation. With that said, I've been Afonso.
I'm Anastasia.
And Irene.
We are volunteers for the Young Men Shovels Association. Please don't forget to leave a like, to subscribe, ring the notification bell. And yeah, that's it. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.